Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video review. This time I'm going to be reviewing the Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Soundwave figure. So this is going to be a slightly different review than usual when it comes to Transformers for me. I'm going to try something out and see what you guys think, basically. This is going to be a non-transforming, non-alt mode review. This is strictly going to be a robot mode review. And I am testing this out because, for me personally, when I watch Transformers reviews, I usually just skip through the transformation and the alt mode to get to the robot mode, because that's really what I care about. And, you know, unless I specifically put on a video just to see the transformation so I can do it myself, like with the figure in hand, I don't watch reviews for that. So I'm just testing this out and seeing if my theory is right that most people don't, and that maybe you'll just enjoy just a quicker, more concise video just talking about the robot mode itself. So if you like this, I'll continue to do it. If you guys don't like this, I won't. Definitely let me know in the comments below. But let's get on to the robot mode here. So this is a figure that I've been very much looking forward to, Soundwave from Dark of the Moon. This is one very interesting character when it comes to figures, because for Dark of the Moon there were two figures made, a Deluxe as well as Human Alliance Class 1, but they were canceled in the United States before they were released, and therefore only the Dakara ones were released in overseas. I was able to get both of those figures. However, there isn't a wide released United States version of Soundwave until now, and this is by far the best. I will definitely be doing some comparisons. First of all, what he comes with a little Laserbeak, which I think is wonderful. The Laserbeak figure, I actually, when I got it, I totally forgot that he came with a little Laserbeak, so it was kind of like a nice little surprise for me. But the Laserbeak, sculpt-wise, is fantastic. He really has a lot of detail in him. He has all of the little razor bits and the propellers and the little kind of separation between each of the wing sections. You see his little legs here. He does have a hinge on his legs to be able to pose him. He looks excellent. He's a really nice looking little companion piece. Obviously doesn't transform. Only point of articulation is this hinge here. And you know, you can peg him on the car like this, or you can hook his feet onto the little bars on his arms. The only thing that I don't like is that when you have him holding on via the bars, his arm has to be up like totally to the side for him to be able to hold it. He can't put his arm up at the front, because there's no way of doing like this. And you can stretch Laserbeak up so that his feet are down here and then like the body's up, so you can kind of do that, but it does look a little bit awkward because he's like stretching his legs out so much. But the little Laserbeak is wonderful sculpt wise. My only issue with him is paint. I think that the paint is really lacking. He's just gray, a solid kind of plastic gray with red eyes. So I would like to see a little bit more going on paint wise, but sculpt wise it is really great. Now down to the actual figure here, we have Soundwave. He's looking quite nice. I will say that the proportions on him are pretty wonderful. Let's get some size comparisons right off the bat. Alright, here's a size comparison. It's also just kind of a comparison to see the last version with the newest version. So, as far as design goes, comparing him with the old Soundwave, the deluxe one from Dark of the Moon, it's a million times better. It's 100% accurate compared to the other one. The other one is really poor. It's really poor when you compare it. The bulk is really misdistributed. The portion of that figure that I thought was good were the legs. And getting this one, I think the legs are even so much better. So when it comes to just the sculpt-wise, you know, one looks like a cheap knockoff and one looks like a great recreation. So that is just wonderful. Also paint, you've got a brilliant silver. They do have a mixture of some other grays in it, which gives it some tone. It gives it some depth, which is really nice, but on all the main pieces, it's bright silver, looking really good. Very happy with the paint that's been applied. Comparing him to Bumblebee, though, and Soundwave, just size-wise, he is smaller, which is pretty typical for Studio Series. They seem to be having like a smaller scale. Most of the Studio Series figures seem to be pretty well in scale with each other. However, they're not in scale with your other figures. And because I do not have a Studio Series Bumblebee, just because I have so many Bumblebees, I really have not had much of an interest in getting the Studio Series one, other than like the Bumblebee movie Bumblebee. to have like my only Dark of the Moon style Bumblebee is now too big compared to Soundwave. Not by a whole ton, however, he is just a little bit too big, especially since Soundwave should be slightly bigger than Bumblebee. They should be, very similar to each other, but maybe just slightly bigger. So overall, I'm disappointed with the fact that he is a little smaller. I think that even with just other Studio Series figures, having the Soundwave be slightly bigger would have been beneficial. However, it's not big enough to complain terribly about, and then it does make sense because most of the Studio Series figures are slightly smaller than the previous movies ones. But the sculpt here overall is just fantastic. It really is. He has all of the correct proportions. He has a very small kind of backpack section. It's just it's very much just the top of the car that does fold up too, so it doesn't hang down too far either. He's very compact, and he is incredibly movie accurate. Very bulky up top with really broad shoulders and kind of a boxy chest. Great face sculpt as far as his robot head goes. It looks really nice, as you can see. I love the chest piece. The chest isn't just simply the front of the car. It does have some variation there with having those two panels be rotated up, which looks awesome. And then the legs look very cool, very aggressive. You have kind of points and spikes coming off of them. And then he has like kind of those sound boom kind of pieces on him. Kind of like to express the sound waves, even though he doesn't technically use them in the film. The only thing that I could have wanted with this figure, additional other than Soundwave, is his gun, because he does have a gun in the film. That's how he shoots the kind of sound wave booms out of. So I would have liked to see that be given to him. The original one from Dark of the Moon did have it, but it was kind of that mech tech, like transformation type thing, so it transforms into the satellite, which actually looks really cool, but it makes the gun a little bit too bulky. So I would have liked something, in scale with this figure. I think that would have been kind of necessary, to be honest. Overall, though, this is a fantastic figure. It really is. It's a perfect representation of the character. It's completely accurate in my mind. It has fantastic paint, and then the sculpt itself is just wonderful. And then the little Laserbeak that he comes with is quite nice, albeit lacking when it comes to paint. But sculpt-wise, he's quite nice, and he's a nice accessory to Soundwave. If you want a good Laserbeak toy, there are plenty of good Laserbeak figures, but as far as just this figure goes, the Laserbeak that he comes with is an accessory to him and just helps, bring attention to him. So great figure. I would absolutely recommend it. This is a figure that was in desperate need of a redo, just because the old versions were so inaccurate, and not to mention those old versions were incredibly hard to get inside the United States. So this was due for an update for multiple reasons, and the update itself I think is quite solid. Really nice figure and totally recommended. So there you go. So that's my video review talking about the Transformers Dark of the Moon Studio Series Deluxe Class Soundwave figure. Let me know what you guys think of the figure, and I'd also love to know what you guys think of this style review, focusing on the robot mode only and kind of not doing the vehicle or transformation. Let me know what you guys think, and thanks so much for watching.